Welcome back to Anchor Designs. I'm James, and today we've done it. We have finished the Anchor Designs tube bender. So let's jump straight into it and get started and set the camera up so I'm not doing the whole YouTubey thing. So here it is. This is kind of Mark II. So in the last video, we went through a bit more of the design detail and why and how, all that kind of jazz, and I wasn't happy with it. So Mark II went back to the drawing board. Long story short, Mark I had bolt-through holes on these pillow block bearings here. They're a 20mm shaft, and then we have made the actual mandrels, whatever you want to call them, to be keyed on. So these were machined on the mill, and these have got a 10x10 keyway that's machined onto them. And I'll put some more detailed pictures up. So these discs all comprise of just 10mm laser cut discs, and this is the key has already been cut into them. These are 10mm holes that all of them have been knocked together, laminated together, and then plug welded either side. And this is what gives you the mandrels on the side here. The top shaft is slightly different. This has been had a castellated, hex nut machined onto the top, and this has just got a 17mm socket onto the top, and the top drive wheel is just driven by a simple 1/2-inch breaker bar. Now it's very heavy, but it's kind of good, so I don't really need to bolt this down. There is still some improvements I think I'd make. I could definitely make a Mark III, but not enough to actually change in more detail. Now for the next change from Mark I is I'll reposition, and I'll just show you very quickly. So what we've got in the middle here is a capacity of 60mm from point to point here. So we use 60mm clearance, so we've got 6 plates all laminated here, 6 at the top. Now the reason why the top shaft is, well, it's missing these 2 pieces here. I did put some spacers onto the top, but in all honesty, it was just a bit fiddly. So I didn't bother with those in the end. And the top section here, I could have tapped these in if I wanted to, but it kind of worked out in my favor. So there's a little bit of clearance in the top here. And if there is a little bit of movement, you can kind of loosen this off, and it will kind of naturally hit the top dead center, if you like, of the piece. So it kind of keeps it flat if this is kind of a little bit loose. And if you have it too fixed in one position, I hope this makes sense, the box section that you're actually moving tries to walk offward. I don't know how to kind of describe it, but you can kind of feel it trying to travel along here, kind of like when you've got a hose pipe and you're wrapping it back in and it's wanting to travel off. A little bit similar to that. Now, one of the main modifications is when I was noticing that although these are 120mm OD wheels, when you got to the top, that was the clearance that you had, and it wouldn't actually give us much bendage. So to alter this, there is a slot, a very small slot in the top here, probably a depth of that's coming down around 50mm, just to clear these top points, these top bolts onto here, which I'll just quickly show you. Just like that. Just reposition and focus. So as you can see, there's probably, well, there's a lot of, there's no daylight from the inside of here, so we can actually make quite a very small radius. Now I've not bent or formed anything to that, because it's just, it's overkill. So I've probably been to around that 20mm clearance for the box section that I've been forming. So we're going to call it a wrap for there today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. This has been a absolute joyous project. It's version 2 now, but I feel like I've pretty nailed it. It's doing exactly what I wanted it to do. 4 weeks ago, this was a sketch on a back of a fag packet, so it's pretty amazing, and it's working. And I've got so many cool ideas that I've got coming up. So if you're interested in seeing what I actually do with this, then consider subscribing. Next video, I'll be making this really big ring into something else. The smaller one is for the handle for the actual bender itself. I'm not that pleased with it, but it's been quite nice to prove that we can make some really small rings with it. So I'm not going to continue the video on making lots of different circles. You get the idea. I haven't got any bigger stuff that I can show you, but it rolls it really easily. So maybe at some point I'll get some 60x60 box and see if it can kind of roll some really big stuff. But the price of steel is ridiculous and I don't really need any. So if you want to send me some. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you did like what you see, then please consider subscribing to see the latest stuff. If you want to kind of get some behind the scenes and message me, then best to go through Instagram. I'll leave a link to that in the description. There's a few hashtags going around of what this machine has been nicknamed, which is the absolute Totem Bender. Not mine, but thank you very much. And give me a message on there if you want to have a chat and go through anything. I'm always open to ideas and suggestions. If you've got any way of improving this, then hell, leave a comment if you want. And I'm going to stop talking. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you the next time. Thank you.